Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Nancy Rise Higher Astrology. How are you? It's great seeing you again. I'm doing this reading for Leo rising, and it's best if you check your rising sign reading only because I get into pretty deep detail about each of your houses, all the transits, uh, the lunations that happen within your chart. Yeah, so if you're a Leo rising, welcome in. I'm a Leo sun. I'm not a Leo rising, I'm a Leo sun. So I do have a soft spot in my heart for Leo rising. Uh, and I am going to be getting the rest of the zodiac out this week. These readings are for the month of May. May is gearing up to be another blockbuster month. We have Jupiter making a huge move into Gemini, which I'm going to be getting into well, towards the end of this reading for you, Leo rising. This is a huge deal for you. I am so excited about this year. So what I want to do right now is just do a quick recap of the two eclipses that we just had. So, of course, back in March 25th, we had that sextile lunar eclipse in your third house in Libra. And then, of course, we had the big one. We had the major new moon solar eclipse in your ninth house, which made a trine to your ascendant. So these are really great, supportive lunations for you, Leo rising. The third and ninth houses are cadent houses. So in your chart, you have these cadent houses, which are the third house, the sixth house, the ninth house, and the 12th house. And their purpose is to allow you to gather information on what's going on. Okay. These are information gathering houses. It's a time for you to become more aware and to learn from what's going on around you. Okay. And each one of these houses, you'll be learning in a different way. So, for instance, in the third house, you'll be learning by taking a class, going back to school, something of that nature. The sixth house, you learn by changing your habits, by trial and error. Okay, that's how you would learn in that house. In the ninth house, you learn by thinking a little bit outside of the box, having a little bit of a different point of view. It could also mean taking a trip somewhere to just gather up more information. It could be you could be taking a pilgrimage, for instance, and you could be experiencing some enlightenment as a result of taking that pilgrimage. So that's the ninth house, when you're gathering information. And then the 12th house, you gather information by getting downloads from source. So it's all about your intuition and it's opening up um, your a little bit of your psychic abilities, actually. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so you have these lunations happening in your third and your ninth houses. And normally with the lunar eclipses, the change is internal. Okay, with the solar eclipses, there is an actual event that normally takes place. Okay, so where this is forming a trine pattern, remember that one of the most supportive aspects in your chart is going to be that trine. Um, you can expect an event to happen probably between now, I would say now and a year from now. And the only reason I say that is normally between now and the next 6 months, but this could take a little bit over a year actually, because we did have Mercury retrograde at the time of the solar eclipse. And normally with Mercury retro, um, your results from the eclipse is going to be delayed. Okay. But do look in your chart because if you have something like if your ascendant sits at around a 3-degree orb of where that solar eclipse took place at 19 degrees of Aries. Um, and then you have a placement in the sign of Sagittarius that also falls within that degree, then you have a grand fire trine as a result of that solar eclipse. And that, my friends, that you will be getting, you will be getting your wish. Let's just put it that way. That is a very good sign for you if you have that grand fire trine um, aspect as a result of that eclipse. Okay, so I want to move on now because we do have this full moon that's happening in the sign of Scorpio. It is in your fourth house, and it's going to be on the 23rd at 4 degrees Scorpio. Now, this, of course, being a full moon, this is going to be an emotional lunation, uh, but it's more intense because it sits in the sign of Scorpio. The moon really doesn't like being in the sign of Scorpio. It's debilitated there. Okay, so there's always this chance for people to go a little bit off the rails. Okay, not only that, but we have the ruler of Scorpio, Mars, the dispositor. He sits over in Pisces and in your eighth house. And Mars is very close with Neptune. So this is a lot of water, okay? This is a lot of emotions. You're going to be in your feels. And this energy is going to be lasting for the next couple of weeks. So please keep in mind, with Mars being in Pisces, and Pisces is that sign where there could be a lack of clarity, a lack of boundaries, misunderstandings. There could be episodes for you over the next couple of weeks where your emotions, especially emotions that could be quite negative, they could be magnified for you. So just, if you're feeling a little bit stressed out, it's always a good idea to just take a break, excuse yourself, go have a seat, do some box breathing, which is 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 second exhale, and then repeat. Okay. So that's always extremely important, when we're going through these full moons. And then, keep in mind too that your friends and family are going through this. So try to have some patience. I know it can be pretty hard sometimes. Uh, so the next lunation that I want to cover, come on, very difficult here. This is going to be the new moon happening in the sign of Taurus. So I see a pattern, and I feel that the eclipses are preparing you for some major changes that are happening in your fourth house and in your 10th house. Okay, so which you've had Jupiter in your 10th house over this past year. So already, Leo rising, you're feeling like there is huge change that is taking place, especially in your house of career and public image. But now you've got this new moon happening in the sign of Taurus. It will be happening at 18 degrees of Taurus. It is close to where we had that Jupiter Uranus conjunction on the 20th of April. So that is all about sudden change and expansion. It is, a rare occurrence. The last time we had Jupiter Uranus conjunct in the sign of Taurus, it was 1941. And we all know what happened for the United States back in 1941. And then the last conjunction in any sign for Jupiter Uranus was back in 2010 in the sign of Aries. And just a few months later, we had the Arab Spring, which was the uprising in Egypt. So every time we have Uranus conjunct Jupiter, there was some pretty gnarly things that happen in the world. so, so even though, you know, it means something different for everyone, I just want you to keep in mind that over this next year, especially where we have a huge presidential election happening in the United States, there's a lot of uncertainty. Taurus is a sign of security, it's a sign of money, it's a sign of food. You just want to make sure that you are getting all of your ducks in a row right now. I don't want to be an alarmist, but it's always a good thing to be prepared, just in case you have an emergency. So I just want you to keep that in mind. But a new moon signifies a very brand new beginning in your 10th house. So this, of course, is some pretty good news, I think. It's always great to have a fresh start. So the best thing I'm going to show you, I'm very excited about this. So on May 23rd, you have you have a wonderful thing that's happening uh, in the sign of Gemini. It's actually happening both in the sign of Taurus, your 10th house, and in Gemini, your 11th house. Now, these two houses are really important. Your 10th house, of course, is the house of career and public image, but the 11th house is your succeedent house to the 10th house, which means that all of the fruits of your labor, that's going to be in your 11th house of gains, of financial gains. So we have this transit happening with Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter will be conjunct Venus on this date, on the 23rd of May, at 29 degrees of Taurus. And that is, like I said, the money sign. So it's happening at 29 degrees of Taurus. They will be making a union together. Now, Venus loves the sign of Taurus. Okay, Venus brings brings money. Okay, but Jupiter brings wealth because Jupiter is going to be expanding whatever Venus will be giving you. So she's giving you abundance here, and because she's with Jupiter. And so the sun also makes an orb to this. This is exciting news, okay? Because Jupiter is going to be staying in this sign for you for the next year and 1 month. So Jupiter will be staying in Gemini until almost the middle of June 2025. All right. So Jupiter, let's talk a little bit about what Jupiter is. So I think that the unsung hero of the solar system is the planet Jupiter. So a few people don't realize that Jupiter was almost another sun. It was almost a star. All the planets in the solar system, they reflect and refract light from the sun. Jupiter is the only planet that not only reflects the light from the sun, but it creates its own light from within. Okay, so it is the largest planet in our solar system. It's referred to as guru. It's referred to as almost like a big brother, guardian angel. It's the bringer of good fortune. It's the bringer of abundance. Okay, and without Jupiter, I don't think that Earth would exist because its gravitational pull is so huge that all of the space junk that flies around the universe, a lot of that stuff we get spared from because of Jupiter. So Jupiter really does watch over us. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is your sister sign. And let's talk a little bit about the fire signs because we've got, Leo, the ruler is the sun, and the sun is that big ball of fire in the sky. And then we've got Aries, ruled by Mars. Mars represents the powerful, passionate, forceful fire that comes from deep inside, which is the almost like lava spewing from volcanoes. And then we've got Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter also rules the Pisces sign, and that is ether. So when you cross fire with ether, you get lightning, and lightning is it's the intermediary between heaven and earth. So Jupiter is a very special planet, very special ruler. Now, the grand finale to all of this, on the very same day that Jupiter is conjunct Venus at 29 degrees of Taurus, getting ready to head into your 11th house, on that very same day, we are getting a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. It's going to be happening at 2 degrees Sagittarius. This, unlike the full moon in Scorpio, this is a very supportive full moon for you. Why? Is because it's shining a light for you um, towards your path towards success. So Leo, let's talk a little bit. You are the fire sign that is meant to be seen in this world. You represent not just fire, but you represent excitement, you represent fun, you're an inspiration, you are the fixed fire sign of the zodiac. And with all of this activity that's happening in your 10th and 11th house, especially over the next year, it's time for you to step up. It's time for you to step out. It's time for you to take a risk. Okay. The universe is literally begging for you to do this. And the last tidbit that I'm going to give you for the month of May is astrologer Jan Spiller, infamous astrologer Jan Spiller, noticed with her clients that when the transiting sun moved into her client's 11th house, very good things would happen, okay, in their lives. This was a short time period, a span of approximately 2 to 4 weeks, where wonderful events would take place. Now, for you, Leo rising, this is coming up in May for you. Look in your chart. If you use Placidus, look in your chart, calculate the date and time of when the transiting sun enters your 11th house. And once you find out that day, I want you to write down on a piece of paper all of your goals and intentions, okay? Make them big. Make them big, because big things are going to be happening for you over this next year for sure, okay? Stay focused, okay? Stay focused. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Lots of love to you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye.